Something strange is happening across America right now. Shipping containers arriving at rural properties in the middle of the night. Basement shelves filling up with items bought in cash. Hardware store employees noticing the same customers buying the same products week after week. Off-grid preppers are hoarding 13 specific items as we speak. Not the items you would expect, not freeze-dried food or bunker supplies. Items that most people walk past every single day without a second thought. Items that cost almost nothing right now. Items that will become absolutely priceless when supply chains finally snap. These preppers are not crazy. They have studied every economic collapse of the last century. They have analyzed what disappeared first from store shelves in Venezuela, in Argentina, in Greece, in Lebanon. They have identified the exact items that become currency when money stops working. 13 items, most cost under $50. All of them available at your local store right now, but not for much longer. The quiet stockpile is already underway. The shelves are already thinning, and today I am going to reveal exactly what these preppers already know. 13 items that will be worth more than gold in 2026. Item 1. Water filtration systems. Every collapse in modern history follows the same pattern. Water systems fail within 72 hours of grid failure. Municipal treatment plants require electricity. Pumping stations require electricity. Without power, nothing comes out of your tap. During Hurricane Katrina, people were drinking contaminated flood water within 3 days. Dysentery and cholera followed. Off-grid preppers understand that water is not negotiable. You can survive 3 weeks without food. You cannot survive 3 days without water. This is why serious preppers are hoarding water filtration systems right now. Not just one filter, multiple redundant systems. Gravity-fed filters that require no electricity. Pump filters for portable use, filter straws for emergency backup. Purification tablets by the hundreds. A quality gravity filter processes thousands of gallons before needing replacement. Cost today is around $200. Cost after the grid goes down is whatever someone is willing to trade. In Venezuela, water filters traded for months of food. People with clean water survived. People without it got sick and died. This is not exaggeration. This is documented history repeating across every major collapse. The preppers hoarding filters right now are not being paranoid. They are being mathematically rational about the single most important survival resource. ITEMTWO heirloom seeds. Here is something most people do not understand about seeds. The vegetables you buy at the grocery store come from hybrid seeds. Those hybrids are designed to produce one generation of crops. If you save seeds from hybrid plants and replant them, the next generation is worthless. Weak plants, poor yields. Sometimes nothing at all. This is by design. Seed companies want you buying new seeds every single year. Heirloom seeds are different. These are open-pollinated varieties that have been passed down for generations. You plant them, you harvest. You save the seeds, you plant again next year. Infinite food production from a single purchase. Off-grid preppers are hoarding heirloom seeds by the thousands right now. Tomatoes, beans, squash, corn, peppers, leafy greens, root vegetables. A complete seed vault costs under $100 today. That same vault could feed a family indefinitely when supply chains collapse. In every economic crisis, food prices explode first. Gardens become survival necessities. The people with seeds become the people with options. The people without seeds become dependent on whatever system remains. Right now, heirloom seeds sit on store shelves ignored. In 2026, they may be worth more than the entire store. ITEM3 antibiotics and medical supplies. When healthcare systems collapse, people die from infections that should be easily treatable. A simple cut becomes life-threatening without antibiotics. A tooth infection becomes fatal without proper medication. This is not ancient history. This happened in Venezuela. This happened in Lebanon. This is happening right now in collapsed economies worldwide. Off-grid preppers have found legal workarounds to stockpile antibiotics. Fish antibiotics contain the exact same compounds as human antibiotics, same manufacturer, same dosage, same pill, different label, amoxicillin, ciprofloxacin, doxycycline, metronidazole. These are available without prescription at pet supply stores and online retailers. Preppers are stockpiling them by the bottle. Beyond antibiotics, the medical stockpile includes pain relievers in bulk, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, aspirin, anti-diarrheal medication, which saves lives during waterborne illness outbreaks, wound care supplies, bandages, antiseptics, suture kits, blood clotting agents. A complete medical stockpile costs a few $100s. After collapse, that stockpile becomes priceless. Doctors may still exist, but medications will not. The preppers building medical supplies right now understand that healthcare independence is survival independence. Everything else is gambling with your life. ITEM for solar panels and battery systems. The American power grid is failing. This is not conspiracy theory. This is engineering reality documented by government reports. Infrastructure built 50 years ago carrying loads it was never designed to handle. Transformers that take 2 years to manufacture with no domestic production. One coordinated attack or one major solar event could collapse the entire grid for months, maybe years. Off-grid preppers are hoarding solar panels and battery systems while they are still affordable. 2026 may be the deadline. Solar tax credits face elimination. Tariffs on Chinese panels are increasing. Prices that dropped for a decade are starting to climb. A basic solar setup provides enough power to run refrigeration, communication devices, and medical equipment. Cost today runs $2,000 to $5,000 depending on capacity. After grid collapse, that same system becomes the difference between modern survival and 19th century existence. No refrigeration means no medication storage. No food preservation, no insulin for diabetics. Preppers understand this math clearly. Solar panels last 25 years or more. Batteries last 10 to 15. This is a one-time investment in permanent energy independence. The window to make this investment at reasonable prices is closing rapidly. ITEM 5, manual hand tools. Your garage is probably full of power tools. Circular saws, drills, sanders, grinders. All of them become expensive paperweights when the grid goes down. Off-grid preppers are hoarding manual hand tools that require nothing but human muscle. Hand saws that cut wood without electricity. Brace and bit drills that bore holes without batteries. Draw knives for shaping lumber, axes and hatchets for processing firewood. Hand planes for finishing surfaces, wrenches and screwdrivers for mechanical repair. These tools built every structure that existed before 1900. They still work perfectly today. Quality hand tools last multiple generations with basic maintenance. They require no fuel, no charging, no replacement parts. Many preppers specifically seek out antique tools because older steel often exceeds modern quality. Estate sales and antique stores still have these tools at reasonable prices. After collapse, the ability to build and repair without electricity becomes the most valuable skill set possible. The tools that enable that skill become priceless. A complete hand tool collection costs a few $100s over time. That collection enables self-sufficiency that no amount of money can buy after systems fail. ITEMSIX fire starting supplies. Fire is the foundation of human survival. Heat, cooking, water purification, light, security. Without fire, survival becomes exponentially harder. Modern people have forgotten how difficult fire starting actually is. They assume lighters will always be available. They assume matches will always be on shelves. Off-grid preppers know better. They are hoarding fire starting supplies in quantities that seem absurd. Thousands of matches stored in waterproof containers, hundreds of disposable lighters. Ferrocerium rods that throw sparks for tens of thousands of strikes. Magnesium fire starters as backup, waterproof tinder that ignites even when wet. The investment is minimal. A lighter costs $1. 1,000 lighters cost $1,000 and fit in a single container. Those 1,000 lighters become 1,000 opportunities for trade after collapse. Fire-starting supplies were currency in every historical crisis. They will be currency in the next one. Beyond quantity, preppers focus on redundancy. Multiple methods stored in multiple locations. If one cache is lost, others remain. The ability to make fire reliably in any condition separates survivors from casualties. Preppers hoarding fire supplies right now understand that this $3 item becomes worth more than gold. Item 7, ammunition. This item generates controversy, but preppers do not care about controversy. They care about reality, and reality shows that ammunition becomes the most tradable commodity in every societal disruption. Not for violence, for hunting, for protection, for trade. Ammunition manufacturing requires complex industrial processes. Primers, powder, brass, projectiles all require specialized facilities that may not survive economic collapse. Current ammunition supplies represent years of manufacturing. When that supply depletes, it may not return for a very long time. Off-grid preppers are hoarding common calibers in substantial quantities. 22 long rifle for small game hunting. 12-gauge shotgun shells for versatility. Common handgun calibers for protection. Common rifle calibers for larger game. Storage is simple. Ammunition kept cool and dry lasts decades without degradation. Space requirements are minimal. Value retention is nearly guaranteed. Ammunition prices only move in one direction during crisis, upward, rapidly. In Argentina, ammunition became currency more stable than the peso. In Venezuela, ammunition traded for food, medicine, and safe passage. The preppers stockpiling ammunition are not planning for war, they are planning for reality. A reality where this commodity becomes essential for survival and trade. Item 8. Alcohol. Alcohol serves so many survival functions that preppers consider it essential stockpile material. Drinking alcohol provides trade value, morale support, and medicinal applications. Rubbing alcohol provides wound disinfection and equipment sterilization. Both types store indefinitely without degradation. Off-grid preppers are hoarding both varieties in significant quantities. Cheap vodka works perfectly for medical use and trades easily. Whiskey and bourbon command premium trade value. Rubbing alcohol in gallon containers costs almost nothing today. After collapse, that same container could trade for substantial goods. Beyond trade value, alcohol serves critical medical functions. Wound cleaning when proper antiseptics run out. Fever reduction through evaporative cooling. Sedation for emergency procedures. Preservation of herbal tinctures. The preppers stockpiling alcohol understand its historical importance. During Prohibition, alcohol was currency. During the Great Depression, alcohol was currency. During every crisis in human history, alcohol has been currency. A few $100s builds a substantial alcohol stockpile. Cases of cheap liquor, gallons of rubbing alcohol. That stockpile becomes a trading empire when systems fail. This is why off-grid preppers treat alcohol storage as seriously as food storage. Item 9. Salt. Modern people have forgotten how precious salt once was. Roman soldiers were paid in salt. The word salary comes from this practice. Salt built empires and funded wars. Then industrial production made it cheap and we forgot its value. Off-grid preppers have not forgotten. Salt preserves meat without refrigeration. Salt preserves vegetables through fermentation. Salt is essential for human biochemistry. Without adequate salt intake, the human body fails. Before refrigeration, every family maintained substantial salt stores. Meat was salted, fish was salted, vegetables were pickled in salt brine. This is how humanity survived for thousands of years before electricity. After grid collapse, these methods become essential again. The families with salt preserve food. The families without salt watch food rot. Off-grid preppers are hoarding salt in quantities that seem excessive, 50-pound bags stacked in storage. Salt costs almost nothing right now. $20 buys 50 pounds. That 50 pounds could preserve hundreds of pounds of meat. Could enable survival through an entire winter. Could trade for nearly anything when others realize they have none. Salt never expires, salt never degrades, salt is the perfect prep. Item 10. Wool blankets when the grid fails, heating systems fail with it. Natural gas requires electric pumps, propane runs out, fuel oil depletes. The only reliable heat becomes fire and insulation. Off-grid preppers are hoarding wool blankets because they understand the physics of survival. Wool retains 80% of its insulation value even when soaking wet. Cotton loses everything, synthetics lose most. Wool keeps working in the worst conditions. Military surplus wool blankets are available right now for $20 to $40 each. These same blankets kept soldiers alive in the worst winters of World War II. They last decades with minimal care. They require no power, no fuel, no technology, just natural fiber doing what it has done for thousands of years. Preppers are buying these blankets by the dozen. For their own families, for trade goods, for emergency backup. A stack of 10 wool blankets costs under $300. That stack could keep an entire family warm through a winter without power. Could trade for food and supplies when others are freezing. Wool blankets are the heating system that never fails. This is why preppers are hoarding them. Item 11. Cast iron cookware. Modern cookware requires modern stoves. Glass top ranges, induction cooktops, non-stick surfaces that cannot handle open flame. When the grid fails and propane runs out, most kitchen equipment becomes useless. Cast iron is different. Cast iron cooks over any heat source. Wood fire, charcoal, propane while it lasts, alcohol stove, solar concentrator. Any source of heat works with cast iron. Off-grid preppers are hoarding cast iron cookware for this exact reason. Skillets for frying and baking, Dutch ovens for soups and bread. Griddles for flatbreads and pancakes. This cookware lasts literally forever with basic maintenance. Cast iron skillets from the 1800s still cook today. No replacement parts, no degradation, just iron that gets better with use. Quality cast iron costs $50 to $100 per piece today. Cheap imports cost even less. After collapse, the ability to cook food becomes priceless. The families with cast iron eat hot meals. The families without struggle with every meal. Beyond personal use, cast iron becomes valuable trade goods. Everyone needs to cook, few people prepared for cooking without electricity. This gap creates opportunity for those who stockpiled properly. Item 12. Knowledge and skill books. When the internet dies, knowledge dies with it. No more YouTube tutorials, no more Google searches. No more instant answers to every question. The only knowledge that survives is knowledge stored in human minds and physical books. Off-grid preppers are hoarding books that contain essential survival skills. Medical references that explain diagnosis and treatment. Foraging guides that identify edible and medicinal plants. Gardening manuals that explain food production. Construction guides that teach building techniques. Repair manuals for vehicles, equipment, and infrastructure. Preserving guides for food storage without electricity. Animal husbandry references for livestock management. These books cost $10 to $30 each at used bookstores. The complete knowledge required to rebuild civilization fits in a single bookshelf. After collapse, that bookshelf becomes the most valuable library in the community. The person with knowledge becomes essential. The person who can teach others becomes powerful. Preppers building knowledge libraries right now are investing in post-collapse currency that never devalues. Skills learned from books become skills that survive any crisis. This is why serious preppers treat books as essential survival supplies. Item 13. Precious metals. When paper currency fails, something must replace it. History shows that replacement is always precious metals. Gold and silver have been money for 5,000 years. Every fiat currency eventually fails, gold and silver remain. Off-grid preppers are hoarding precious metals as collapse insurance. Not paper gold, not digital gold, physical metal they can hold in their hands. Silver is particularly popular among preppers for practical reasons. Silver comes in affordable denominations. 1-ounce coins cost around $30. They are recognizable and easily verified. They divide into tradable amounts better than gold. Gold serves as wealth preservation in larger amounts. An ounce of gold holds approximately $2,000 of value in compact form. Easily hidden, easily transported, universally recognized. Preppers are not banking on precious metals for daily transactions. They are banking on precious metals for large purchases when paper money becomes worthless. Real estate, vehicles, livestock, equipment. The wealthy survivors of every currency collapse held precious metals. The prepper stockpiling metals now are positioning for the same outcome. This is the final insurance policy when all other systems fail. The window is closing. You have now seen what off-grid preppers are quietly hoarding across America. Water filtration systems that turn any water source into drinking water. Heirloom seeds that provide infinite food production. Medical supplies that keep families alive when healthcare collapses. Solar panels that maintain power when the grid fails. Manual tools that work without electricity. Fire-starting supplies that become worth their weight in gold. Ammunition that serves as the ultimate trade commodity. Alcohol for medicine, morale, and barter. Salt that preserves food and sustains life. Wool blankets that provide heat without power. Cast iron cookware that works over any flame. Knowledge books that preserve essential skills. And precious metals that hold value when paper money dies. 13 items. Total investment under $5,000 for a complete stockpile. Most items available at stores you visit every week. The preppers who are hoarding these items are not crazy. They are studying history. They are watching the warning signs. And they are acting while action is still possible. The window is closing. Supply chains are straining. Prices are rising. Availability is decreasing. You can join the quiet stockpile now, or you can wish you had when the shelves finally empty. The choice is yours, but the time to make that choice is running out. 2026 is coming faster than you think.